Authorities in Zimbabwe are moving in to protect consumers from businesses sabotaging the economy by refusing to accept local currency, saying they will be imposing punitive measures to those found wanting.
This comes after the continued skyrocketing of prices and of goods and services in supermarkets and the runaway foreign currency exchange rate.
4 major distributors have since had their bank accounts frozen for allegedly diverting basic commodities to the informal market while refusing to supply formal markets which sell in local currency.
In a statement over the weekend, the Financial Intelligence Unit named the 4 basic commodity distributors as Saxon Trading, Simrak Enterprises, Brainscope Investments and Munela Enterprises.
They said that these malpractices were not only criminal offences prosecutable in courts of law, but also administrative violations punishable under the Bank Use Promotion Act and the Exchange Control Act.
The FIU say they have been receiving lots of complaints against businesses which have been implicated in economic malpractice, including blatantly refusing to transact in the local currency or switching off point-of-sale machines.
Other complaints, according to FIU, included converting prices using illegal and punitive exchange rates.
Now, over the weekend, Zimbabwe's Finance Minister Ntuli Ncube came face to face with the reality on the ground when he toured supermarkets in Bulawayo and had to tear down a notice in one supermarket which advertised goods in foreign exchange. Now, in other news linked to this, Zimbabwe Statistics Agency on Friday reported that the inflation rate in May gained 13.3 percentage points to 15.7% from the April rate of 2.4%, driven by price increases in mostly food items. We get more from the following report.
It's the end of the month, and the streets of Harare are packed with shoppers hunting for a bargain. And in these streets, knowing the right price to pay for a product or service has become a survival skill of its own as price distortions rock the market. Some shops price their goods exclusively in US dollars. Others use the parallel market rate, which can be anything depending on the day. It can all be confusing.
Supermarkets are price low. But strictly my US.
But as the gap between Zimbabwe's formal and black market exchange rate widens, one thing is for sure: the consumers suffer the most. While more than 70% of transactions are conducted in US dollars, less than a third of the working population has a component of their salaries in foreign currency. The consumers have been left at the mercy of businesses, most of whom have adopted forward pricing models.
We have seen in our surveys that some players on the market are actually forward pricing, and some are applying the parallel market exchange rate. And for them to comply with the official exchange rate, we have seen that prices in the local currency are sometimes raised. So when you convert into US dollars, you will see that it's a pain to the consumer. That is unacceptable, but it is a behavior that is emanated from the current market failure.
Only yesterday, the National Social Security Authority indicated that starting in June, a portion of its monthly payouts to pensions will be in foreign currency. As the authorities ponder a solution for the pricing crisis, the consumer continues to struggle.
So turning off the taps is one way of doing this, and that is one way of reducing money supply. Another way, of course, is mopping up all the liquidity in the market. Any excess Zimbabwe dollars, they should mop up. They're hoping to try and do that through the gold-backed digital tokens. That's one way of mopping up money. Another way, of course, is you could raise bank statutory reserves, forcing banks to pump more Zimbabwe dollars into the central bank where it's held at 0%. But the point is this: there are measures that need to be taken. The question is, how quickly can the authorities and the central bank react? Because quite frankly, Zimbabwean citizens are saying they need to react now. They need to react today. Right, well, there you have it. A very good report there, even Mabunda. Now, what's interesting is, well... I had to say something, didn't I? I mean, what else could I say, you know? Like, there I was and here I am. But inflation is a big issue as well. Now, don't forget, Zimbabwe did one thing which people didn't agree with, or business didn't. We moved to a blended inflation rate, which is the inflation rate blended between the US dollar and Zimbabwe dollars because of how much the US dollar is being used, which means that we don't know the Zimbabwe dollar inflation rate on its own. Okay, now bear in mind that before we switched, the rate was around 220%. Okay, now with all the latest chaos and price controls, numbers that we've had are just shocking. Some as high as 600%.
Wow.
But no one knows because they were not being told. And this is one of the reasons why people wanted to know the Zimbabwe dollar inflation, so we understood what was exactly happening, particularly when it came to food prices in the Zim dollars. But anyway, something has to be done. Prices have to get under control, and Candace said it, stability. That's what we need. We need stability, and we need to achieve that quickly because we've had it. It's not like we haven't had it, and we just need to get rid of some of these practices.